Now come gather around and listen to the sounds of a man pursuing his dream. The trials that he met and success he will get will be covered on this little screen. Bob McKinley made a film, and the effort did not kill him. Triumphs to a job well done. Soon the whole world will see a film from Bob McKinley, and it's called Juice, the Legacy.
Welcome back, everybody. This is In the Spotlight. I am John Horton.
And I am Kyle Pearson, and today we have another special guest with us today, Bob McKinley, who brings us an interesting adult take on a children's classic. Bob, thank you so much for joining us. I apologize, we had some technical delays off the bat, but thanks for joining us. We do appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
It's an absolute pleasure and no problem at all. I totally understand.
Well, tell us about Juice, the Legacy. What can we expect with this film?
Well, Juice sort of takes place in like an alternate reality where the factory tour was actually a reality show featuring all of the classic characters, but in adult form. So like they were all like college age and went on the reality show, which was the factory tour. And this takes place years later when, the infamous Violet Beauregard, of course, who turns into the Blueberry, she has a daughter who then, sort of for lack of a better word, succumbs to the same circumstances.
And can we or can we not refer to the factory name or no?
Technically, I think since it's parody, I don't think there's, I think we can say it's definitely a derivative of Willy Wonka.
Okay, all right. I didn't want to get you in trouble, but yeah, this is definitely parody territory. So I'm pretty sure you're safe.
I think so.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have some copyright issues anyway because it's too similar.
Oh, for sure.
So what gave you the idea, or how long have you had this idea since you were a kid? I'm assuming it's developed over time because this is quite the adult take on the children's classic.
Yeah, actually, I'd worked with a couple of other folks, and we had been talking about doing something along these lines for a little while. At one point, the plan was for it to be a feature-length film, and it was going to be a little more, comedic horror, pushed in that direction. But sort of like with our budget and the resources we had, we decided to make it a short, and we just sort of felt like that with the short, going more comedic would be give us the most bang for our buck.
Now, is this your first feature or your first time as a director?
Yeah, I've done a lot of sort of like informal things, but as far as like a real production, yes. And I don't know that I'll ever do it again. I had somebody that was supposed to be the director, and they actually were bringing in, they had like really like some nice video and sound equipment. But the poor fella actually had a cardiac event the night before we were supposed to start shooting. So a lot of responsibility that I was not anticipating sort of fell in my lap at the last minute. So, I did what I could.
We actually just interviewed Beatrice Bupley last week, who plays Freddy Krueger's mother in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
And she is now doing some fan films where she plays the mother of Jason Voorhees.
Oh, nice.
But her and I were going back and forth because both of us have worked on horror movies where a whole bunch of crazy stuff has happened, and we were thinking maybe we were just cursed in these particular things, but maybe it's just a horror movie issue, because it seems like every time we talk to somebody, the impossible seems to be possible every single time.
Yeah, we definitely had more than our fair share of issues pop up. I think that was the big one, but we also had one the husband of one of the actresses got into a car wreck. We had a car wreck happen right in front of the house we were filming at. It felt like it was one thing after another.
Yikes. And this is just a short film. So you didn't even have a lot of time for a lot of things to go wrong. And yet they were.
Yeah, and the thing is, like when you're working with props, and we had a body painter to do the orange and the blue, for the blueberry and the Oompa Loompa, and it takes time to get that stuff on and off, and like the supporting actress that we had to be the Oompa Loompa, she dropped out like a couple of days beforehand, and we couldn't get a replacement. So we actually had Tiffany McMonigal, who she played a dual role. She played Valentina's best friend and Stacy Loompa. But this created kind of like a logistical problem, because when you're counting on another actress being outside being spray painted, by the body painter, then you've got those scenes that aren't being shot, and it's just a kind of like a domino effect. Like once one thing kind of gets out of sync, it just sort of starts to get out of hand.
Yeah.
It
Well,
sounds
well,
like there's a lot of times that you really got to think on your feet doing an independent horror flick. It seems like a lot of things go wrong, and you gotta do some quick thinking to try to keep things moving.
Yeah, I think really the hardest thing to do is to be able to look at the script, look at what's happening, and go, okay, this is the time we have, so we have to cut this. Like, no matter how bad you want it, no matter how much you feel like it adds, to the quality of the story, the overall project, it just is what it is. If you want to finish and have a complete short film to be able to show people, I think the most important thing is just figuring out, like, what can we cut that's not absolutely essential, that still allows the story to thrive, and doesn't take away from that. And so we took a lot of things out, a lot of cool things that I thought would have been, really value added. But I feel like we were able to just squeak in enough to get the spirit of what we wanted done.
how many days did it take to shoot this?
Well, it was originally we were going to do the table read on a Friday night and then shoot on Saturday and Sunday. But sort of like with that domino effect I was talking about, we then had to come back and get all the logistics of a bunch of the cast and the location and everything else. And so it was maybe about, I think, like 6 or 7 months later before we could get everybody back, and we shot another day and a half. So it ended up taking 3.5 days.
I think you got lucky. I don't know how the previous actress's performance would have been, but to me, I thought the Oompa Loompa was the best part. I thought she
Yeah.
delivered her lines, and it was so comedic, and it wasn't, in your face. It was very held back. This wasn't your regular, singing the song Oompa Loompa. And I just, an Oompa Loompa with an attitude, and I thought it was very cute and well done. So I think you got lucky in that respect.
Oh yeah, she was great. Yeah, really, she was fantastic. I think we wanted to kind of think out of the box for the Oompa Loompa, and come up with something a little different. So, like a normal sized Oompa Loompa that's really bitter about being tall was sort of the way we went.
Are you looking at doing any kind of follow-ups, maybe exploring why the Oompa Loompa's tall, or revisiting some of the other participants of the reality show?
I wouldn't be opposed to like going back to sort of the same universe in the future. I don't know if that will ever come to pass. I have some other things that I'm working on right now, and a lot of the people that we worked with the first time around Now they're sort of at different points in their lives, and some of them, their careers are really taking off, and they're really in high demand. So I might be kind of difficult. So but you never know. You never know what's going to happen down the road.
That's true. You shot this a while ago.
Yeah. I want to say it's been about 2.5 years now. And then it took like maybe not that long for the reshoot or the extra days. And then we had a struggle getting an editor. I at the time, I can do a little bit of monkey editing now, but at the time I had no editing expertise. And I think we went through like 4 editors before we got to Victor Bonacore, who finally took it on. Did a great job with, considering sort of the hodgepodge of footage that we had. People would get involved, they would get into it. I think sometimes then figure out like how much work it is or whatnot. And then would, 6 weeks would go by and then they would just kind of either ghost us or back out. And so it was very frustrating because it took a very long time to get an editor.
Yeah, I think that's the number one reason why I never made an independent film myself. Both John and I have been back some films. I've appeared in some very briefly, but I remember trying to make stuff in high school, and it felt like an independent film with the budget you have. The commitment level isn't there as much as it should be, because one of the last productions I was just on, we had some issues, and then the actress heard how difficult things were going, so she just said, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And we're like, "Oh, wait a minute! Now what are we gonna do?" So yeah, it's got to be very difficult to keep everyone, because you don't have a lot of money that people can just say, all right, they can give up their time, and especially if you have to move anything around, they might not be as flexible. So um,
Oh
I
yeah.
give you full credit for being able to pull this off at all. It's not
I
easy to
well,
do.
well, thank you. I deeply appreciate that. And one thing was, it was crowdfunded, so I really pushed through when I don't know if it hadn't been crowdfunded, I might have given up. But I don't. Under the circumstances, I just wanted to make sure that everybody that plunked down money and put faith in us, that even if it took a long time, that at the end of the road they got what they paid for. And I was actually shocked to learn, because I didn't realize it. And I've been sort of associated in various degrees with some form of independent film for a long time. But so many people after the fact said, well, you shouldn't feel too bad about how long it took to get out, because so many people, they'll film something and then it just sits on a drive and never gets edited and never gets released. And I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, I've been burned multiple times on these. The worst one so far has been Police Academy. There is a company doing a documentary on that, a retrospect. I've been waiting on something for that for 6 years now.
Oh my God. Yeah.
They'll throw an update on once a year, twice a year, maybe, saying, "Oh, we're still doing it." I still sit empty-handed. So with that in mind, what were some of the challenges that you had with the Indiegogo?
Actually, the Indiegogo itself was pretty smooth. I didn't really have too much problem. And I'm not even a big like tech web guy, so usually I get flustered at some point with those kind of things. But I had a pretty good experience. There were some things in the interface I wish were easier. There were some things that I wish that it could do. But overall, the crowdfunding experience overall, with the fans who paid in and the service, I can't really complain.
The star of this film is Jessa Jupiter Flux, who is one of the very few people I can say I've actually shot a scene with. How was it working with her?
Oh, she's fantastic. I love her. If I had the means, I would make I would make a short film or a movie every month or 2 months just to be able to work with her, because she's the best. I mean, she's beyond being super talented. She's just one of the hardest working people that I know. She's always taking classes of some kind, always striving to improve her craft. Just really puts the effort in.
Yeah, I think like right this moment she's taking ballet. As we speak, she's in a tutu somewhere, and she was just doing clown college not too long ago. And
Yep.
I think one out of every two Indiegogo movies she's a part of.
Mhm.
So yeah, she's everywhere.
Yeah, she definitely not to mention all the stuff she does just to improve her craft. She is in a lot of projects. Like she doesn't take enough breaks. I've fussed at her before. I said, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you take on so many parts so close together.
Yeah, she has been called from some of the circles that I run in. She's been compared to Linnea Quigley of this generation with the amount of work that she's getting.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
the
you're very
volume is
fortunate to
crazy.
have her on set. Did you know her before this?
No, but she came highly recommended.
Okay.
There's some folks sort of up in my neck of the woods that have either worked with her or they knew of her. Donald Farmer and Tim Ritter, they both
Okay.
spoke incredibly highly of her before we signed her on.
You were mentioning that you've got a few other things in the pipeline. In fact, I think you're waiting for a model to get off a plane right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What are you working on as we speak?
Well, it was sort of just trying to build it from the ground up. It is sort of an homage or riff on the Venture Brothers. If you've ever watched that show, they have the Guild of Calamitous Intent, and so we're going to kind of do a little thing called the Cabal of Amorous Lament, and it's sort of going to be all of these like sort of disillusioned supervillains who sort of it'll be kind of like like a little skit comedy thing. We'll have all these different characters that sort of deal with, sort of these outlandish but also mundane situations, and hopefully it'll be funny.
Is that a crowd-funded project as well, or are you paying for that out of your own pocket?
So far, it's all coming out of my pocket. It's pretty micro budget. It's pretty collaborative, and I've set up a Patreon for it, but it's not up and ready to go yet. We're still trying to assemble. We're probably a couple of months away from being able to assemble enough footage to get it edited and have enough on there to make it worth folks joining up.
Well, I know you're busy. Where can we see Juice the Legacy?
Um, we are in the process. We've been trying to find an online digital home for it where folks can just kind of like go to a link, click on it, and buy it. But we just I've struggled in that arena. And Jessa actually connected me with a company. So here, real very soon, we're going to have Blu-ray as an option to purchase. But unfortunately, at this time, I don't have like a specific place where somebody can see it.
Is the Indiegogo still up and running? Did they try to pre-order the
Uh,
Blu-ray there or no?
no. But if you go to the Indiegogo, when I do have a link to purchase the Blu-ray, or both, if I have it on a digital platform by that time, I will update the Indiegogo so you can get information there. Um, that's probably the best place to go.
Okay. Well, when that happens, please contact me. I'll make sure that we put that on our in the spotlight page. And if there's anything else that you'd like us to promote that you have out there, please send that to me. John does all the cool editing of these videos, so it'll be in the description of all the videos. We put it on Facebook, we put it on YouTube, Twitter, all over the place. So we'll try to get you out there as much as we can, and any of your projects. We want to try to help support you and indie filmmakers around the world.
Well,
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Bob McKinley. We do appreciate you coming on in the spotlight. For John Horton, I'm Kyle Pearson, and we'll see you again soon. Have a good night.
Bob McKinley made a film, and the effort did not kill him. Triumphs to a job well done. Soon the whole world will see a film from Bob McKinley, and it's called Juice, the Legacy. Now come gather